Life in Japan is full of excitement. The food, the culture, the city streets, even the smallest everyday moments can feel fresh and inspiring. For many people, just imagining daily life here already feels special and a little magical. But once you actually start living in Japan, there are surprisingly many moments when you think, oh, I didn't know that. One of those moments, for a lot of people, is gas. In Japan, gas is divided into different types, and this is one of the easiest things for newcomers to get confused about. Especially for people coming from overseas, the idea of choosing a type of gas might not even exist in the first place. In Japan, when you start looking for an apartment, you'll almost always see these two words, city gas and propane gas. You'll see them in property listings, on real estate websites, or in apartment descriptions. At first glance, they might seem like small details, but what's actually different about them? Which one is cheaper? And what happens if you choose the wrong one without really understanding it? To be honest, many people don't fully understand the difference. They think it's probably fine, and move on without giving it much thought. But if you choose an apartment without understanding this part, it can slowly, quietly affect your monthly living costs. Rent is something everyone checks carefully every month, but gas bills, a lot of people only realize how expensive they are when the bill actually arrives and they think, wait, why is this so high? This happens far more often than you might expect. So in this video, we're going to clearly explain one of the most important things you need to know if you plan to live in Japan. The difference between city gas and propane gas, in a way that's easy to understand, even if this is your first time hearing about it. If you watch until the end, you won't feel lost or confused about gas when choosing an apartment anymore. First, let's start with the basic difference between city gas and propane gas. The biggest difference is how the gas is delivered. This is the most important point to understand, because the way gas is delivered affects everything: the price, the stability, and even where you can live. City gas is delivered through underground pipelines. Just like water, it flows directly into each home through a network of pipes installed beneath the streets. Propane gas, on the other hand, is supplied from gas cylinders installed outside the building. Gas companies regularly come to replace these cylinders, and the gas flows from there into your home. If you see silver gas cylinders lined up outside a building, you can usually tell right away, this is propane gas. This difference in delivery directly affects where each type of gas can be used. City gas is mainly available in urban areas where pipeline infrastructure is already in place. Propane gas can be used almost anywhere, as long as there's space to install cylinders. That's why in rural areas, suburban neighborhoods, or mountainous regions, propane gas is much more common. So if you're looking at apartments outside major cities, seeing propane gas is completely normal. Next, let's talk about fuel type and heat power. City gas is made from natural gas. It's clean, stable, and widely used in cities. Propane gas is made from liquefied petroleum gas, often called LP gas, which includes propane and butane. Here's something many people don't realize. Propane gas actually has about twice the heat power of city gas, even when using the same amount. Propane gas produces a much stronger flame. For people who cook often, this stronger heat can feel like a big advantage. However, there's something very important to keep in mind here. Because the gas types are different, the appliances are different too. Stoves, water heaters, and other gas equipment are designed specifically for either city gas or propane gas. If you use the wrong appliance with the wrong gas type, it can cause gas leaks or even serious fire hazards. This is not a place to say, "It worked in my last apartment, so it should be fine." That logic does not apply here. Always confirm with a professional before using or installing any gas equipment. Before moving, checking whether the apartment uses city gas or propane gas is absolutely essential. Now let's talk about the topic most people care about the most: cost. To be very clear from the start, propane gas is significantly more expensive than city gas. This is something you really need to know when planning your living expenses in Japan. When thinking about living expenses, the difference in gas costs is much bigger than most people expect. The reason is simple. City gas is a public utility. Prices are regulated by the government, so the cost is relatively stable and predictable. Propane gas, on the other hand, is a free market service. Each gas company sets its own prices, which means costs can vary widely. Even with the same propane gas, just changing the location or gas company can result in a very different monthly bill. So how big is the difference? For a single person living alone, using gas normally for cooking, showers, and baths, with City Gas, the monthly cost is usually around 2,200 yen. With propane gas, the cost can be around 5,500 yen for the same lifestyle. That's more than double. When you think about that difference continuing every month, it becomes a very large amount over a year or two. Propane gas often shows lower usage numbers because the heat power is stronger. But even so, the total monthly bill is usually much higher. And remember, propane gas prices vary greatly by region and company. Some places are reasonable, others can be shockingly expensive. This is why caution is so important. So how can you tell which type of gas an apartment uses when you're searching for a place? The easiest way is to use filters on real estate websites. For example, on platforms like mooovin, you can filter properties by equipment and choose city gas or propane gas. Setting this condition from the beginning helps prevent regrets later. If you're searching in a city gas area, it can make sense to only look at city gas properties from the start. If the information isn't listed, the safest option is to ask directly. You can simply send a message or inquiry saying, "Does this property use city gas?" That's all it takes. Just asking this one question can significantly reduce future expenses. Because once you move in, changing the gas type is almost impossible. This is something you must confirm before signing the contract. Finally, let's look at the pros, cons, and contract process for each gas type. First, city gas. The biggest advantage is cost. It's cheaper and more stable. There's also no need to worry about running out of gas cylinders. The disadvantages are limited availability and slightly weaker heat power. Next, propane gas. The biggest advantage is flexibility. It can be used almost anywhere in Japan. The strong heat is also attractive for people who love cooking. The main disadvantage is cost, but it's not about which one is good or bad. What matters is whether it fits your location and lifestyle. Now, the contract process. For city gas, you contact the gas company assigned to your area. Once your moving date is decided, you apply by phone or online. On the opening day, a staff member will come to activate the gas. For propane gas, you contact the gas company designated by the landlord. After the cylinder setup and safety check, you can start using gas right away. In both cases, someone must be present during gas activation, so don't forget to schedule it properly. If you understand this properly, you'll be able to start your new life in Japan with much more peace of mind. Now that we've gone through everything, let's review the key points. City gas and propane gas are fundamentally different systems. City gas is supplied through pipelines and has stable pricing. Propane gas is supplied by cylinders, available almost everywhere, but more expensive. Just knowing this changes how you look at apartment listings. Monthly fixed costs are especially important. Rent is easy to notice, but gas bills often surprise people after they move in. Even a few thousand yen difference per month becomes a large amount over time. That's why you shouldn't choose an apartment based only on rent. Always consider the type of gas as well. Of course, in rural areas, propane gas may be the only option. And if you love cooking and value strong heat, it may suit you better. The most important thing is not choosing blindly, but choosing with understanding. Check property listings, and if you're unsure, ask directly. This small step can make your life in Japan much more comfortable and stress-free. On mooovin, you can search for apartments in Japan from anywhere in the world. We offer support in Japanese, English, Chinese, and Vietnamese. So be sure to check out our official website from the link in the description. If you thought this video was helpful or interesting, please subscribe and hit the like button. Well then, see you in the next video. I'm cheering with all my heart for your happy life in Japan. Bye-bye.